Labels. Whether the word's meaning to you brings up thoughts of gay, straight, or bisexual, or ugly, pretty, fat, and skinny, or as it does to me, Gucci, Prada, Chanel, Louboutin, the list goes on and on. It's rather funny I'm not only in love with the industry full of labels, but also believe that my calling in life is to work in said industry. Due to the fact that all of my life, labels that others have put on me have haunted me. As a young boy in a homogeneous suburban Midwestern town in Michigan, I struggled with worry of what others saw to me and my somewhat unusual likes and passions for such things as art and fashion. Weighing in at 200 pounds and 6 foot something since about the 6th grade, I was a sure recruit for any macho activity known to man. I was a boy who would rather spend my Sundays discovering new treasures at the Detroit Institute of Arts, soaking in my favorite Monets and Van Gogh paintings. I was a boy who watched old Audrey Hepburn movies, dreaming of what it must have been like being Givenchy's muse. I was a boy who secretly read W and Vogue magazine in my room and hid the sketches I drew of the beautiful and luscious clothing and accessories from my siblings in fear of judgment. I was obviously a boy who struggled to fulfill my passions while also following the strict gender roles I believed to be right and grew up with. At this point in my life, I was wearing labels such as gender confused, probably gay, and shy. I was set back even further while in high school. I was diagnosed with obsessive-compulsive disorder, anxiety, and depression, which left me struggling to perform everyday tasks due to my nervous tics and OCD rituals. I was now an already shy young man who was unsure of his labels from struggling with mental disorders that made me feel like even more of an outcast and more lost about who I was. I was also forced to drop out of high school, although throughout my pain and suffering there was one label that stuck: lover of fashion and the arts. I always have known of Parsons. With the downtime during my time of mental recovery away from school, I was able to research the new school and knew it was exactly where I belonged. Parsons quickly became my goal and what drove me to become healthy. As I worked with therapists and doctors, I learned more and more about myself and became more comfortable with who I was. My unique interests, my disorders, and the labels I once thought were bad and tied me down and prevented me from being part of the norm, I began to see as advantages that helped shape me and my artistic direction and talents. I now know that I am free to explore my personal style as well as openly appreciate all that fashion world has to offer and to pick up new labels along the way, such as Parsons School Design student, intern at a high fashion magazine, or even one day be a creative director. Through fashion and art, I found my true labels, and that's what makes me the new school. The new school changes and adapts to the influence of current events, society, art, fashion, and even more. This is similar to how I had to adapt to a new path of life that I was not prepared for, but with innovative thinking and hard work, I made the path a successful one. Parsons not only goes against the status quo, but also is ahead of its time. I like to think I am as well. With my clean bill of health and lessons learned from a troubled past, I now know my labels and I am proud of them. I am an ambitious young man looking to achieve artistic greatness. I am a man who is an aspiring fashion designer and stylist, looking to push boundaries and spot, predict, and promote trends, as well as all-around good taste. I am a new school student destined to achieve his goals. My label is me. My label is Dillon Menard.